Good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you're at. Jeff Africa, Jeff Africa's Last Dance. We're dissolving the mind. Now, actually, what we're doing is we're just placing the heart at the forefront. That is our tool of perception. The mind has come second, okay? But we're enlivening, awakening the heart here on this channel. And we're using that as our primary mode of perception. The mind, the ego mind, is the follow-up toward that. They say, don't make an enemy of your ego. However tricky and however destructive the ego mind can be, and it can be, make it your friend. Make everything your friend. It doesn't really do any good to think of things as your enemy. And we could think of the ego mind and all its trickiness and the things it does to keep us in the same place we're in. We could think of it as the enemy, but they say that's not the most productive way to do it. It's just consider it a friend and move forward, guiding it and telling it, hey, you're not in charge anymore. You know, basically that's what you have to tell it. Okay, here we are, and this is a beautiful day here in California. I swear, it's spring coming into, still kind of cool, but it's you know, really very, very nice. Okay, so if you want to, this is just going to be a follow-up, a part 2 of where I'm at. How far have I come? What have all the things I've thrown down in the last 12, 15 years, what have they come to? Okay, we're going to find that out right here and right now. Actually, I told you some of the stuff. We're just going to quickly brush up the rest of it and then move on from here. A couple side notes. If you want to get a good idea of what it is to be trapped in a 3D world, a certain dark hue to it, and totally not realizing and not cognizant of the larger cosmic reality and the whole world, consciousness world out there that is beyond this small egoism that we are involved in. Go take a look at an old hard-boiled detective story in the 30s. You know, Philip Marlowe, Sam Spade, one of those. You know, the crime novelist writers. You know, let's see, Mickey Spillane and Dashiell Hammett. Those types of character writers. And take a look at. I just watched a Philip Marlowe not a few days ago, and you get an idea of what it is to be trapped in a 3D world, and it is a stark way of getting an idea that all those characters in that story were so involved in their lower vibe sort of life and their needs and what they wanted and what they were driving for, with kind of blinders on, and what they needed to thought they needed to satisfy or make their life better. They're after this or wanted that, or their personal needs. All those types of things. That's a stark way of trying to get how we, even right now, suffer in that same way, but it's not quite that stark. As they're trapped in the illusion of this social illusion complex, with all its dictates and the way they just absorbed it and are living it out now. And you know, it's just funny to be able to watch that and to see how limited these people truly are, and how they're living a dream, really. They're not really living a life, they're living a dream. At the end of their lives, they're going to look back and they're going to wonder, you know, what was that? You know, what was that all about? But it's just a real stark way of understanding what the idea of living out a dream in this dream world, this illusion reality, in this third dimension, and there's just not a lot of meaning there, okay? It's just a happening, but there's not a lot of meaning. It's very, very interesting. When I get up in the morning these days, I've been sitting on the edge of the couch. I drink 3 or 4 things in the morning, you know, green tea and warm cucumber lemon water and boiling water. And as I'm doing that, that's when I've been starting this. You know, I've told you what I do premeditate before I meditate right there on the spot. But now I'm sitting on the edge of the couch and putting my hands on my chest and getting the feel, because it's good in the morning too, because you're not so solidified in the mind at that point. Put your hands on your chest, both, and fall from that mind, from that sort of effortful, cold, thinking mind into that warmer, more accepting, easier heart center. You can feel your consciousness. Some mornings is better than others, but you can feel right then and there your consciousness, in your head, slip down into the heart and nestle into the sort of this little light, and like a nest. That heart center is feels like a little nest, and you get that consciousness down. You get it to fall down into your heart area. And that's just a good way to start the day. I say these days, I've been saying, I am who I am. I am good enough as I am. I am loved for who I am. I am who I am. I am good enough as I am. I am loved for who I am. I am who I am. That whole thing, all right? And this is in addition to when I start meditating, I kind of really do that, where I invite all the people I've chosen in to be my partners in this adventure of ours, becoming a blooming, heart-centered human being, okay, as opposed to a all shrunken mental human being. Truly is. So I'm doing that at the beginning. So these little things, these are the ways that we take seriously the idea of a falling from the head to the heart, and begin to perceive life that way. And it's very, very pleasant. I can sit there for an hour and just drink these little drinks I have, and have sometimes a very peaceful moment before I start stretching and then meditating and exercising and all that other stuff. But this is what I do. You don't have to do exactly that, but some version of that, I'm telling you, I'm recommending, okay? Okay, now, where else am I? Okay, I kind of gave you some last video. I gave you some of the preliminaries, and this is the following through here at the end. Interesting, I can't really watch sports anymore. You know, that's a great, great thing. I watch some. You know, I'll pick and choose to watch, but I can't. It's not entertaining to me anymore, because I know, deep down, I know it really doesn't matter who wins. It's of no consequence. It's of no value. There's no meaning in being a winner, being the winner, or being number one. So as I just can't take it seriously anymore. I like to see excellence, and sometimes I'll watch to see excellence on the field or in a court or whatever it is I want. But it's just not the same anymore. I just don't contribute the time. I'm probably 80% less. And like I say, I was never a big sports watcher, but you know, I was definitely one. And it's 80% of the, you know, I've cut 80% of that out, 75, 80% of that out, because it just doesn't mean anything to me anymore. And now that's a good clue, a good flag that your consciousness is shifting and changing. All right, that's a great thing to be able to say. That I don't waste that much time watching sports anymore. It is essentially a waste of time. I am able to turn away low moods and states that when they come, I don't take them as me anymore. I'm able to witness them, not attach myself to them, and watch them float through and leave. Okay, and not take them seriously, not take them like they're a dire who I am, and now I'm in this low mood, or this this state that I have experienced and I don't like it. I don't take it so seriously. I'm more of a witness, and I'm not attached to it. I don't take it as me anymore. I let it just go. I let it come and I let it go. And this is the type of things you learn as you move forward spiritually. You'll be able to do that too if you're not doing it already. But the whole idea is not to identify with these types of things. You don't take them seriously. You just let them move through. And there's a ghost and a figment. And you flush yourself out of them a lot quicker into a higher mood. Okay, I'm doing that very, very well these days. I'm more of a witness then to my inner life. Okay, I'm more of a witness to it, and I don't take it as me. I'm just watching it go on. I'm watching the inner movie inside us go on, and I know how to stand back and just witness it, and not to take it as me, not to identify it, not to attach myself to it. You got that? How is that great? I'm replacing all moments of the day. I'm replacing faulty 3D ego mind thinking and conclusions with proper spiritual thinking. With spiritual thinking is the whole picture, the whole cosmic picture, that we're children of God with unlimited potential. Children, piece of God with unlimited potential, and all the things that are going on in this cosmos, let alone around Earth right now. But you know, the whole spiritual, a lot of the things that are caught within us, we made conclusions based on low vibe, ego mind, need oriented thinking. Okay, and as we expand and get into spiritual thinking and all the glories therein, that replace those faulty thinking and conclusions with that new spiritual thinking by reminding ourselves and indulging in remembrances of who we really are and what this thing is truly all about. It's not about Jeff Africa being here on Earth in 2020. It's a much, much bigger picture than that. And we've been, we've been a lot of things in this universe. We've had thousands of lives in here on Earth alone. Let alone however many lives we had, hundreds of thousands, in other realms and in other dimensions, in other planets. We've all come a long way to get here, and I no longer think of myself as Jeff Africa here at this one moment with one life and all the things around as the reality, as the concrete reality. Okay, it's the spiritual picture as you get more and more familiar with it, and then the God, how we're essentially created by God and in His image. Those things. Now we've been hearing those things all our whole lives, but I'm at the point where I'm beginning to realize them now. You can hear a lot of things. When I was younger, I heard a lot of things. But okay, I got that. But it didn't really take. But now I'm really being able to assimilate this type of stuff and really understand why it was being said. Why it's been, how important it really truly is. Okay. I'm constantly remembering all those types of things and reminding myself of the bigger picture, which is a great way to mitigate yourself these days, especially when you find yourself falling into these habits and ways that are the 3D localized world. Okay, the idea that we're gods, that we have unlimited potential in so many ways, and we just don't see it. And constantly reminding myself that's really actually the truth of the matter. Places that I haven't been in a while. If I have been, a year ago, I went to a center somewhere or went doing something somewhere. When I go back there, it feels different. Okay, the last time I was there, I was in a laden, hopeless sort of a consciousness, more or less. You just feel always weighing you down, and no matter where you went, there it was. But these days, when I go to some of these places I've visited a year ago, a couple years ago, it feels different. It feels like a blossoming now. Like I say, I feel like I'm blossoming now. I'm no longer dead, gone, buried, which is really what, but I'm blossoming now, and that is having me see the world in a blossoming way also. So those laden, the last time I was at that location, I felt a certain way that was much, much denser, and the consciousness and the vibration much lower than it is right now. So that's a great, another flag of progress as I go around, moving around this local world, and feeling a lot different about it, and feeling a lot different in relationship to it, because of this higher vibration I've worked myself into. All right, do I still, now when we come into, as a spiritual cosmic being, when we come into this earth reality, this dense earth reality, and we fall into the social illusion complex, and begin to be influenced by that and by the people around us, we get dismembered. Okay, we get dismembered and shatter a little bit, skitsy. We get skitsy, we skits. That's not exactly the word, but that's what I mean. And we break up. I did it worse than others, but it leads to an incomplete sense of self. Okay, a sporadic, sort of incomplete take on who and what we are. Okay, I've been suffering from that my whole life. And how is that? I still kind of have an incomplete sense of self when I, but that's been helped 50%, let's say. But it's not gone. And I still I don't have a unified humanness about me yet. I have sort of that incomplete dismember quality that has me grasping and not knowing who my real true self exactly is in its great unified glory. Okay, I dismembered that as I got influenced by this 3D world from youth, baby, youth, teen, all on, and I'm still in the process of shaking that influence out, out of my life. Okay, so that's not completely gone yet. I think we all suffer from that to a degree. I have suffered for it much worse than you, and it was just ridiculous. It was so bad. You know what I mean? But just no sense of who, what, how, who am, that whole thing. And I'm doing much better, but that still sense of incomplete self, and that dismemberment of myself is still there, and it's not gone. Okay, that has to be stated. I'm never going to lie to you. The best thing about me is I don't BS anybody about anything. I'm always very, very true, and I don't kid anybody about where I'm at or what they have accomplished. What I've been up to. Let's say in the last 15 years, I went through a 5-year psychological therapeutic process somewhere in this 15 years. Okay, even at the beginning or whatever. And, like I say, it's interesting. We're going to have that conversation one time, but that's a lot of money, too. That could be $40,000 by the time you're done with that process. You're talking to get involved in psychotherapy, it's going to cost you $700 a month, $800 a month. I'm not going to plunk that kind of money down. And, like I say, it's also a matter of getting the right therapist, too. You just can't go out there and do any therapist. You got to get the right person. And I'm not going to plunk that kind of money down and that sort of thing. If I had gone through a 5-year psychological process, as it is now, and I would have seen the benefits that I'm experiencing right now in my life, from death to life. I've moved from death into life. Okay, that's basically what I've done here. A dead life, now I'm starting to experience a live, a blossoming life. If I would have plunked down 50 grand in 5 years, 60 grand, that's, you know, it's built basically. And I would have gotten these benefits I'm seeing now, I would consider that a success. Any measurement would be evidence of a great success, great to good to great, good to great success in that therapeutic process. Okay, so I've achieved what I've achieved without any psychotherapy, although I've read, you can read books on therapy, you know what I mean, too. But that humanness, and I'm not poo-pooing therapy. I think you get the right human being opposite you on that couch, and you're able to say all the things you've never been able to say. I think it's you know a good thing. I'm not saying that it's not a good process, but it just isn't for me. And like I say, you got to have money to do that sort of thing. And you know, I've had a lot of money, but I've had my share. But I just don't have the money for that sort of thing. I tried to go through therapy, especially early on. I went to see a psychiatrist in my early 20s. You know what he told me? When he found out that I didn't have any money, that I was just a lowly cook, you know, at the time, and he goes, "Don't worry." He went in one day. The second office, he goes, "Look, don't worry about it. The whole thing will clear up." You know, so you know, I'll see you later. that was the psychoanalyst attitude, you know, because he knew I didn't have any money, so he didn't have any time to waste, really, which is, you know, part of the issue here on Earth at this particular time. But that's what he said. He goes, "Don't worry, you know, it's going to clear up, you know, someday." So, you know, now if I had $2 million in the bank and he wouldn't have been saying that, you know, he would say, "Oh, I think I can, we got to go through months and years, we'll get that," you know. No, he was a psychiatrist, and that's what he said. And I also believe that all psychiatry or psychotherapy has to be, that's the beginning, but it has to end up in spiritual evolution. Okay, psychotherapy, psychiatry alone isn't going to be enough at some point, although it can get you a good way. You know, it can get you a way out of the excessive pain and suffering that you have been in. But I think it's only the beginning. I think that has to morph into the spiritual truths and spiritual direction at some point. You know what I mean? It's incomplete as it is. So the acid test. And this is the grand finale. Do I love myself? That's what it's all about. That's the beginning of everything. You're beginning to have a big, wonderful sense of love for yourself. And that's where the love for others begins to, and the world begins. Okay, that's where it begins. And the question is, do I love myself? Okay, and the answer is 50%. The answer is, I'm 50% there. Okay, I'm 50% on my way to blossoming this all-encompassing sense of tender-hearted, authentic love for myself, which is really, truly a necessary step, and a necessary first step in this whole process. And I'm telling you right now, in the last, I know it seems like a long time for me not to be there, but like I said, I was way behind. But I'm 50% there. And it's kind of an accumulative effect. In other words, it's not going to take me another 15 years to get the other 50%. Okay, it's going to take me another few years. I can see myself getting to 75, 80%. And it's silly to put it in percentages, but I'm just trying to make it accurate so you really know. So I am 50% to loving myself in a way that we should always have loved ourselves, and probably have loved ourselves in the past, in other lives, or in the spirit, you know, as we were a cosmic spiritual energy before we came as a human. But that's the report. Okay, 50% way there. And it's not going to take me this long to get the rest of that back, but that's what I'm looking forward to, this wonderful sense of elevating, enveloping love that We are all, that's the prize. That's better than Christmas, you know, the sense of waking up one morning and finding you've been birthed anew with a great love for yourself. Okay, just as you are. Okay, just as you are. I am who I am. I am good enough as I am. I am loved for who I am. That's a powerful mantra. It's just a powerful mantra. Simple. So a lot of the mantras are really simple, and that's a good one. You may want to keep that in mind. Okay. So that's it. That's my trek. That's my progress report so far, and I'm pleased with it. And it's a snowballing effect. It took me a long time to shake some of those deeper senses off. But now it's going to snowball faster and faster. Do you see? That's what I sense. And it's going to be exciting as we do this together, as I complete more progress reports. You're going to see. Like I say, that grand day when I do fall into my heart and speak from the heart. You know, right now I'm still speaking from the mind, okay? But as you speak from the heart, you slow it down, and it's a beautiful, beautiful process. That's it. I want to end this right now. Hopefully 20 minutes I kind of wanted to go. But this is just the completion then of my personal progress and my report to you. Although I seem to have chased most people away. My jokes. I'm suspending my funny thought of the day. I think some of them, you know, come on, the ghost period joke was a funny joke, but I seem to have chased everybody away. You know, I don't know. I think this is a good thing to have and good thing here. But I'm not accruing people. I'm losing people all over the place. I'm hemorrhaging people, bleeding people, but that's okay. It's there's other things to be said about that. But I am still excited to do these videos, and hopefully some of them will come back. But I seem to have lost people. You know, four or five people here. You know, like wow. But that's okay. My name is Jeff Africa, citizen of Earth, loyal patriot of the United States of America, and I stand unafraid. And these four, Paramahansa Yogananda, Jeshoba Ben Joseph, Mother Earth, Divine Mother, are the four I've chosen to get me from a head ego mind to a heart-centered being living a heart-centered life, a brand new life of love and wonder and tenderness and stillness and authenticity, okay? Something I've never had this lifetime, okay? That's how we bring, authenticity is what pulls all these things together, and like that incomplete self, that dismemberment, you know, that's what we finally get that taken care of for good. So that's what we're after here, and I'm going to do it, I'm telling you. All right, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.